Okay, can you hear me back there? Okay, Anin. Hello, I want to say thanks for the prayer, first of all. Thank you, Wayne. I want to thank you for coming out and taking part in this and giving us your time, listening, having the care and attention to actually come out. Today, I'm here to tell you about myself a little bit. I'm also here to tell you why I asked you to vote for me. Personal upbringing, I never grew up on the reserve, and I get, sometimes things get used and as a negative thing. I never grew up on the reserve here. I actually didn't get to move out here till, 2000 in there somewhere. My mom and dad moved out here with the kids in 1990 in there somewhere. So I didn't have that upbringing. I actually grew up in the cities, Regina, Prince Albert, Yorkton, Prince Albert, all over the place. So I had a different upbringing, a little different culture growing up. I didn't get the traditional cultural side of things. I didn't get to enjoy that side of things. We grew up some of the problems that our people face in the city, poverty, crime, all that brings with it. So I grew up with that culture. When I turned about 19, 20 in there, I got my girlfriend pregnant. That changed my life. I didn't want to have my kids face a lot of the same problems. So I made some serious changes in my life, went to university, and it was a godsend, I would say. I worked very hard, went through university, went through SIFC. I always respect that institution for all that it's helped me with. I graduated with a couple degrees, business admin, BA in Indian Studies. Just a side note on Indian Studies, it was very interesting to hear professors that weren't even Indians telling me what it's like to be an Indian. So I always had my critical thinking cap on right from the start in university. From there, I got a job, got a good career. I was very lucky through life. I found a job I loved with SIGA, progressed right to the highest levels. Got to own my own business, worked at FSIN, and got to get that government relations side of things. And I was very fortunate. Today, though, one of the most proud things I am is of my kids. They're healthy, happy, in good relationships, good careers, but again, most of all, healthy and happy, and we have very close relations. So that's the one thing I'm most proud of. Now, the election here. Elections are not always fun. I ran last time, didn't get in. I won't go into that. What I will say, though, is it's not a healthy process that we go through. There's a lot of people saying bad things, doing different things, and trying to convince you why you should vote for us. Now, what I can tell you is, there's been some things said about me, and it's kind of disheartening because a lot of the times things that are said by people that never even met me before in their life. There's things people said that haven't seen me in many, many years. So, I'm not going to hold it against no one, but I do want to clear things up. Like I said, I never grew up in the reserve. I never got the cultural side of things. I don't, ever pretend to be something I'm not as far as, telling people what to believe, what not to believe. I don't, I don't bully people. Anybody that knows me knows I tell the truth. I'm not lying. I don't bully people. I won't bullshit you. And yes, I do have straightforward. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pull punches. I will tell you what I'm thinking. Now, all that said, some of the other things, trying to get through an election like this, you get kind of overrun sometimes, get called greedy, you get all these things. If I was greedy, I would have just stayed working. I was making ridiculous amounts of money where I was. If I was wanting money, I would have stayed there and make way more money than I ever could, working at the band. I'm not trying to brag, but that's not greed. I'm looking at quality of life. The reason I'm running is not for money. Most times I will give money away, and a lot of the times people will ask, why do you do that? My answer is simple. If I have it and they don't, why wouldn't I? That's just how I am. That's how I've always been. Now, I would like to say, again, people ask, well, why are you running? And it's hard one sometimes to believe, maybe, but I really do believe that the higher powers sometimes are telling me what to do. Win or lose, elections are like, I'm finding, are like not healthy for us. It's like a competition. So we'll use those terms, win or lose. If I don't get in, I think I can still make an impact on our reserve and our people. And I will use the old terms a lot of the time. Sorry, I'm not politically correct half the time. I'll use Indian lots of times. I'll use reserve. I'll use that language. I'm sorry to those that find it offensive, but that's just my language still. The other thing though is, I would go through the last while here and ask, do I really want to do this? It's a lot of responsibility on a person. Hats off to our council. I really do mean that. I mean, you got to have some serious tough skin, first off. Second thing, it's a lot of pressure. Last election, I mentioned it, you have people's lives in your hands on council. You really do. And anybody that runs for it has to know that. Council, same thing. It's a serious role. We have lives in our hands. So, once I decided to run, what helped was, like I said, higher powers. I'd even, I hate to say this, I'd even do tests. Okay, if I can't do this, or if I don't do this, it's telling me I shouldn't run. Or I'm thinking about something and then I can't think of it. In the morning, it's come in my head and it's telling me this is the way you should think and what to do. And I'm not trying to be spiritual, because I'm really not a spiritual person. I'm just telling you what kind of drove me to where we are today. Well, once I started, I decided, I'm gonna reach out. One of the biggest things that I did last time was I let my ego drive me that, yeah, I was smart, I could do all this and whatnot. This time, I took back and I said, I need to listen to our members. I need to go out and meet people. I asked many times to meet people. I met them in person, on the phone, through messaging, whatnot, a lot of emails, a lot of people, a lot of our members, and it was very enlightening. I made some really good friends through the last while here, and I'm very happy about that. And I won't forget that no matter what. But yeah, it helped me to understand where we're at. On reserve, off reserve, in the city, off reserve, in the rural communities, wherever our people are living. There's a lot of issues, and a lot of the times it's just communication. It's simple communication, feeling wanted, wanting to be part of our reserve. One thing that really bothered me was the amount of our members out there that have kind of disowned our own reserve and our own people and say they don't want to be part of our reserve. We don't do nothing for them. I get that. I get it, but at the same time, I want to convince them. This is where we're from. This is our people. This is our lineage, all sitting in this room. Sparve, Sangwe, Acoose, George, all of the different families, Panapekisiks. gonna forget someone, I apologize, but that's where we come from. Please be part of it. So yeah, so then you get into the whole language of political platform and whatever. When I listened to our members though, what I did was I started to form the values. I put it in my brochure. Those were my values, you know. I got my brochure and my handout for anyone that doesn't know what it is. But you know, family development, I start there. We need a core, you know, to help our families, whether it's through financial assistance to creating jobs, creating harmony, counseling, all those different things need to happen. Treaty protection is so important to our people. You know, the land that we sit on, it needs to be protected. Hunting rights, the education, healthcare, all those things, we cannot let that go anymore. You know, we can't let that slip. A lot of the time it's interpretation. We need to bring our language back. I never learned it. Culture, I never learned it. I'm trying to talk to some of the elders and older people, friends that I'm making to trust who you're working with. You hear so many bad stories. So I have a trust issue. I will admit that. So I'm going to take that slow, and sooner or later I will get there. I will even embarrass myself sometimes trying to speak Soto and let people laugh at me. Safety and protection, so important. We need fire emergency. We need all of these different things. We need a home care. We need a drug and alcohol rehab center. We need all those things. Growth and prosperity, economic development. How are we going to pay for all this? From there, I went into creating my political platform. I call it, I don't like that term. I would much rather use my commitments to you. In this room, off reserve, same commitments. I'm going to look at everybody if I was to get in as chief. You know, Littlebone, Minichuk, Shiship. To me, we are all in one here. Now, some of the things that get asked right away, well, how are you going to pay for it? From my recollection, we're in about $25 million budget as far as revenue income coming into the band. So if we got $25 million and we grow it, that gives us more money to support all of these different functions and ideas that I'm coming up with, that I've worked with our band members on. You know, if we take $400,000 and start to spread it amongst our members, that's not a bad thing. If we cut costs on the expense side of things, as far as travel, as far as all of the other expenses, and look to where we can find actual dollars to fund this, we can do it. You know, I want to do, one of the easiest ones that I find is communication, like I said. How hard is it to start to put up quarterly newsletters, a website, all of these simple things? Let's get it going. Listen and I'm going to go to my one general band meeting on reserve, pay our members to come and take part in it and celebrate at the same time. Increase payments, I commit to it. You know, I'm of the opinion we don't even need bonuses. We just would rather, I think I would rather give my money away to our members instead of me keeping any of that. As far as bonuses, that kind of thing. Cows and plows. Again, I'm with the chief here. That is not in our control. As far as timing and whatnot, we need to get that settled. We need to let our band members decide if they want to settle first and how much they want to take if we do settle. How much do you want to take back to the homes? 100%, whatever. I'm just about out. But that's my speech to you. I thank you again very much. I want to ask you for your support. Give me your support come election day, and safe travels. And candidates, thank you very much for all your efforts too. Take care.